Well, just into the newsroom, Springfield, Holyoke, and state police arresting a juvenile on Thursday after seizing a loaded high-capacity firearm at the Holyoke Mall. Springfield police say that the 15-year-old was under investigation when they learned he was illegally in possession of a gun in Holyoke. Officers locating the suspect in the mall and safely taking him into custody. He was placed under arrest by Holyoke detectives and the weapon was seized. Now, due to his name and his age, the charges will not be released.